All coincidences with real people are random. If they tell you that this is not the case, ignore them. The spaceship Hyperion drifted slowly in the silent expanse of space. The crew of 20, including engineers, scientists, and officers, was sent to the far edge of the galaxy to explore an unknown planet. They were confident they had found a habitable world, but on board, something horrifying awaited them. Medical Officer Linda Carter, a young and talented woman, woke up in her cabin to the sound of an alarm. Blinking away the sleep, she glanced at the screen displaying a message about an unauthorized entry in Sector C. Linda quickly put on her uniform and ran to the scene. As she approached Sector C, she met Captain Martin Rodriguez and his assistant James Wilson. Their faces were tense, and fear was evident in their eyes. "What happened here?" Linda asked, catching her breath. "We found a strange object on the planet's surface and brought it on board," the captain explained. "It started emitting some signals, and now we have a problem." They entered the laboratory, where they discovered an unknown object resembling a giant egg. On the floor lay one of the engineers, his face covered by a strange creature. Linda instantly recognized the threat. It was a facehugger, a precursor to the terrifying Xenomorph. "We need to isolate him immediately," Linda shouted, examining the victim. This creature could be deadly. But it was already too late. The engineer's body began to convulse, and moments later, a small but horrifying creature burst from his chest. The Xenomorph. It hissed and disappeared into the ventilation system, leaving a trail of blood behind. Panic spread throughout the ship. Captain Rodriguez gathered the survivors in the central control room, trying to devise a plan. "We need to find and kill that monster before it kills us all," the captain declared. "We'll split into groups and search the ship." Armed with an improvised plasma cutter, Linda joined one of the search teams. They slowly moved through the narrow corridors of the Hyperion, peering into dark corners and listening to every sound. But the Xenomorph was cunning and agile. It attacked unexpectedly from the shadows, each time taking a life. One by one, the crew members fell victim to its fangs and claws. As the number of survivors dwindled to 5, Captain Rodriguez decided to change tactics. They started setting traps and using heavier weapons. But the Xenomorph continued its bloody rampage, avoiding all obstacles. In one of the corridors, Linda and Mechanic Jackson came across blood trails leading to a dark cabin. Entering, they saw the dead body of another crew member, and Linda realized they were trapped. "We need to get out of here before it comes back," Jackson whispered, but it was too late. The Xenomorph lunged at them with terrifying speed. Linda barely managed to fire the plasma cutter, but her luck was short-lived. Jackson was killed, and Linda narrowly escaped, running for her life. By this time, only Linda and Captain Rodriguez remained on the Hyperion. They decided to use their last chance to lure the Xenomorph into the cargo hold and eject it into open space. They set the trap, using food remnants as bait and activating a siren to attract the creature's attention. When the Xenomorph appeared in the hold, Linda activated the mechanism, locking the monster inside. "Now or never," Linda the captain said, initiating the decompression sequence. The Xenomorph fought to the end, but the force of the vacuum proved stronger. The creature was sucked into space, its body disappearing into the black void. Linda and Captain Rodriguez were left alone on the ravaged ship. They thought their nightmare was over, but Linda felt something was wrong. She began experiencing strange pains in her chest, and a terrible fear gripped her. "Linda, what's wrong with you?" the captain asked, alarmed. He infected me," she whispered, collapsing to the floor. Linda realized her time was running out. She felt a new monster growing inside her, ready to burst out. "Captain, you have to," Linda tried to say, but pain pierced her, cutting off her words. Captain Rodriguez, understanding what he had to do, raised his weapon. He knew he couldn't save Linda, but could prevent the emergence of a new Xenomorph. "Forgive me, Linda," he whispered, pulling the trigger. When the captain was left alone on the ship, he realized that defeating the Xenomorph was only a temporary victory. The galaxy was full of dangers, and humanity would face new threats. Thus ended the tragic story of the Hyperion. The Xenomorph was defeated, but the price was too high. Linda Carter sacrificed her life to save the others, but the horror of alien creatures continued to haunt humanity in its endless quest for the stars. Captain Rodriguez, the sole survivor, would never forget those terrible moments. He knew that the nightmare they had experienced could repeat itself. And in the depths of space, there was always a new Xenomorph ready to bring death and destruction.